Let's open up that question first for our crew. And I'll start with you, Stacy, because this drives me crazy as a parent. We've had a year and a half to figure this out. We have examples, and this is what drives me crazy about unions, Stacy, is it's not like there's nothing out there to study. Some things were done right, some things were done wrong. You can't act like we don't know anything at this point, and we can't go back to school because we just don't know.
Yeah. So you know what, Bob? I interviewed the head of the largest school district that's a Catholic school district in Boston. And he talked about the trials and tribulations that they went through trying to get it just right with the kids. And they have 33,000 kids in this school district and multiple buildings across the metro area. And he just talked about how much the parents cooperated and how they knew they had to get kids back in school. And he called it a life's mission, a calling on his life, that he felt like he was really honoring God by keeping the buildings open because so many of their kids are on free and reduced lunch. And this is Catholic school now, not public school. He said free and reduced lunch. He said if they weren't open, they wouldn't get breakfast. Some of these kids wouldn't get lunch. A lot of them wouldn't have anyone to supervise them during the day. They had to be in school. So he said it was more than just getting their education. But He said above all of that was the fact that if they weren't in school, they would lose valuable educational time that they wouldn't be able to make up. And when he mentioned how they sat down together and they just went over it again and again and again, and they came to the decision that no matter what, they had to open the schools and that they were going to do it. And if they had outbreaks, they would, just in that building or that classroom, they would quarantine those kids. They would teach them at home remotely. He said teachers visited kids at home when they were quarantined and, left things on the doorstep and then rang the doorbell, so basically contactless delivery. They did everything they could. And that's not just their district. My daughter, as we've mentioned here on the show before, she's a senior this year. And I can tell you, I've already cried. I'm going to cry some more because she's the baby. Yeah. But we would have really cried a lot had she not been in school this year, her senior year, not being able to go to Tri-M and lead club.
My girls are juniors.
Violin. So important.
Yeah, my girls are juniors. They've been at home most of it. They've just started going back. Trey, I wanted to get your opinion on this. I did want to show this from Senator Ted Cruz. It's kind of a dynamic going on right now, things changing. Take a look at this. A reporter asking him to wear a mask when he's getting ready to speak. Listen.
Yeah, when I'm talking to the TV camera, I'm not going to wear a mask, and all of us have been immunized. So
it'd make us feel better.
You're welcome to step away if you like. The whole point of a vaccine, CDC guidance, is what we're following.
Trey, the reason I think that's remarkable, there's so much going on there. It's almost like the national argument right there in like 20 seconds.
Yeah, Ted Cruz has a certain way of putting things that I tend to love. Look, with regards to the schools, I find it insane that you just opened this segment saying that there are school systems, districts around this country that may not open next fall. I'm in Florida, baby. We've been open since last fall. Yeah. We've been open with our businesses, no lockdowns. Our schools have been open. And look, I love my children, but any parent out there knows whether you got toddlers or teens at home 24/7, you tend to go a little bit crazy. All of that said, our schools are open. And I think that Florida should be an example for the rest of this country, including those unions who are doing a disservice to children, most especially underprivileged, poor children in our inner cities who have to stay home. Their parents are still trying to work their multiple jobs to pay the bills. Florida needs to be the guiding light for the rest of the United States. Yeah. The statistics do not lie. Yeah, we've been open and we are not super spreaders.
And they're not the only ones, because we moved from Tennessee, and the district where my kids were going, they've been in the whole time. They had to step out for a couple of weeks here and there because they had a number of cases. They dealt with it. They went back in. They went on spring break last week. Everything is normal. They're going to get all the schooling that they need. So many other districts, Holly, they're just, oh no, what if something goes wrong? You'll deal with it. There are ways to deal with this. And look, I don't want to diminish the fact that it is dangerous to certain people. And I understand that. And we've probably all known people who have got it and maybe have known people who have died. So, but there's another part of the equation. And that's what bothers me is they're leaving out those parts of the equation, Holly.
Well, Trey sort of stole some of my thunder, and going back to Stacy's point of getting it just right, well, maybe Florida didn't get it just right, but we certainly got it right. And under Governor DeSantis's conservative leadership, our schools have been open. And as a mother to a 9-year-old third grader in our public schools here in Florida, I couldn't be more thrilled with his education and the fact that he is not behind, unlike what you're seeing in liberal states like New York and California. And I think it actually brings new meaning to school choice. We have choices in Florida. If you choose to keep your child at home, if you feel more comfortable, safer, if you're waiting for the vaccine rate to go up, you can keep your child at home. There are resources going towards going to school districts that can have that option.
Right.
If you want to have your child full-time 5 days a week, I do.
Yeah.
You have that option. We've recently seen some school districts actually come under sanctions by Governor DeSantis and Florida's Department of Education because they're not following his executive order that said schools need to move towards being open 5 days a week. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about. Can you tell?
Yeah. No, I know, and I could too, but I have somebody in my ear counting me down time-wise, or I'd be here the whole hour. Heather.
Yeah, we have limited time. I just wanted to say, if you were listening to President Biden's news conference at the very beginning, he said he has 35 days left to get 100% of the K through 12 schools fully reopened, and he seems to think he's going to be able to do that. He said K through 12 fully reopened within the first 100 days, so we'll see.
Yeah. It's a challenge, but there are examples of what's working. So we're going to talk more. Do you love big tech? Do you hate big tech? The tech leaders, Facebook, Google, Twitter, their CEOs were up on Capitol Hill again today. Okay, it was virtual, but again, and also new reports of former President Trump launching his own social media platform. That and more coming up on American Agenda.